I have a huge ass trauma timeline, and I still experience that with my privilege in place. I got a lot of survival skills, very resourceful, but still, I have privilege. So what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen when they cut your Medicaid? What's gonna happen when they cut your Medicare as a white person? What's gonna happen when they cut special education services for your white kids at school? What's gonna happen when they cut mental health services for your white kids at school? What's gonna happen when groceries become way too expensive to buy? What's gonna happen? We don't know how to survive that shit. Groceries become way too expensive to buy. What's gonna happen? We don't know how to survive that shit. And we are so individualistic that we don't have community to fall back on either. And so many white people right now have no idea what's coming. We are about to be in a place where we have to figure out how to survive. And a lot of other communities that aren't white are saying good luck. Because we did this to ourselves. 3 out of 5 white men, so many white people right now have no idea what's coming. We are about to be in a place where we have to figure out how to survive. And a lot of other communities that aren't white are saying good luck. Because we did this to ourselves. 3 out of 5 white men wanted Trump, 1 out of 2 white women wanted Trump. And Trump and Musk are destroying everything. Because y'all thought they'd protect your whiteness, or you thought a billionaire gave a fuck about you. And it's falling apart. Because y'all thought they'd protect your whiteness, or you thought a billionaire gave a fuck about you. And it's falling apart. That is what's happening right now. What's happening right now. And it's about to get real bad.
Lockdown. They are enforcing a total lockdown.
People are saying the army, sir. Like they're saying they're not being counted as the fucking army.
Can't get any signal on the internet.
The internet? The internet's down. They shut the internet down. They can do that, can they? They did that in them riots that time.
And in Belarus. But not here. Because we won't stand for it, right? Send it in the army. We're the Welsh Dragon. And we mean fire with fire. So we march, right? Right.
Heading towards the civic centre. All units, update me when you have sight of the marchers. Get down to Station Road.
Hamilton?
Get this clown out here, will you? Sorry, mate. You're over it.
Over column!
Right, get this on the record.
No! You two! Take him out!
Go down here on station one. Get off me!
We want to go home!
The border is closed, okay? You're on your own.
Shalom to the elect of Yasharallah. All praises and glory goes to Yah, our mighty power Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations to the legmen feeding the sheep of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, in sincerity and truth. With this great gospel coming out of our Bible, man, coming out of our Bible. And let's get this verse right quick. Read the book of Ecclesiasticus 14 verse 5. It reads, he that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? Right? He shall not take pleasure in his goods. Right? In his goods, right? This man accumulated all this wealth. And guess what? He's not going to take pleasure in it. He's not going to establish the NWO, the New World Operation, the New World Order, the New World System of operating this man's kingdom. No, he ain't going to establish it. He's not going to fully chip the whole world. These things are not going to happen. The elect is not going to be deceived because it's not possible. It's not possible. We're living in the times, man. If you don't fear our Lord, if you're not returning back to the Lord, crying to the Lord, begging the Lord to preserve you in the times to come, you are a fucking idiot. You are a fucking idiot. That's why it says, my people are foolish. They have not known me. They are sottish children, stupid motherfuckers. It's a lot of stupid ass Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. Here's this devil, man. These devils realize, man, guess what? Shit, they own their motherfucking own. The system done turned them. Right? They politicians done turned them. The elites done turned on them. So guess what? You've been had Edomites leaving the system off grid. Right? We had a bunch of Edomites in 2008, 2009, YouTube pop up. Off grid living off grid. SHTF videos. You got this dude, Canadian prepper. I don't know if he a Jake or a snake, because sometimes you got to question his spirit. He looked like a ninja, but man, his spirit read like a fucking Edomite. Man, all he trusts is in carnal things. And carnal things. I'm reading Ecclesiasticus 14 verse 5. Right? And it reads, he that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? He shall not take pleasure in his own goods. And you got to realize Esau been evil to himself. World War I. Edomite on Edomite. World War II. Edomite on Edomite. They start fucking up the other nations who got involved. That's why they fucked Japan up. You notice they didn't drop the bomb on Germany. No, they dropped it on who? Japan. Because they're like, man, no, we can't drop it on our brethren. The Lord didn't put a spirit in them to drop it on their brethren, right? And in World War III is who? Edomite on Edomite. Russia and Babylon the Great, which is America, spiritual Sodom, spiritual Egypt. Right, you got the heads of EU and the heads of the BRICS. Those are Edomites, and they not doing good to each other. They're not doing good to their citizens. Look at Russia. Russia done starved their people out just to build up a motherfucking military and to accumulate all this wealth to go around the world as what? Like, hey, we're trying to help. That's when you got them dumbass ninjas over in the west coast of Africa, thinking that Russia's coming to help. Man, France didn't help you. Right? The Germans didn't help you. The British didn't help you. Right? The Dutch didn't help you. Right? The Spaniards didn't help you. We could keep going. All these different cracking nations didn't help you. But no, Russia's going to help us. Russia's different. Right? And through the Spirit, what did the Lord say? Let's get this verse. Here we go. Let's go to the book of Ezekiel. Right? Ezekiel 38, and let's start at verse 2. It says, son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him. Right? We know in that land, who's in that land right now? The so-called Russians. Right? Edomites. Right? And they got that Aryan nation spirit. They got that. They don't give a fuck about nothing outside of their race. Right? It says, and say thus, saith the Lord power, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth in all thine army, right? Horsemen, right? Like I said, Russia spent all this time, man, building up their military. They forgot about feeding their people, right? At one time, their people were starving. Right, they people were starving. You had motherfucking Russian mafias and gangs taking over. The whole time the government was building up military, building up missiles, right? Building up armies, right? Making pacts with different nations around the world, setting up with the BRICS, right? It says, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth in all thine army, horses and horsemen, and all them clothed with all sorts of armor in great company, with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords, right? That's why they got these, Russia going into what? Let's go into these countries. What it says, Persia, Ethiopia, Libya, with them, all of them with shield and helmet, right? They're in Africa, they're in Persia, right? They're in Libya, right? They're in these different countries, what, setting up different pacts, right? Adding new members to the BRICS so they could, what, fuck Babylon the Great up. Because the main point is what, to go against Babylon the Great. It says Gomer and all the bands, the house of Togarmah and North Quarters and all his bands, and many people with thee, right? Even other European nations gonna turn on America. Frenchmen, German men, right? British men, right? It says they gonna hate the whore and burn her with fire, right? It says, be thou prepared and prepare thyself, thou and thy company that are assembled unto thee, and thou be thou a guard unto them, and be thou a guard unto them. So that's why Russia's in Africa. That's why Russia's in what it says, Niger. Russia's is moving in different parts of Africa, right? Making leagues with these different African nations. They done pushed out the French, right? They about to be pushing out the British. They about to be pushing out Americans, right? It's all headed towards what? World War III, right? World War III, civil unrest, civil conflicts, right? Uprises of the people, right? And through this, it's going to be a lot of Edomite collateral damage. A lot of Edomite collateral damage, right? Because these elites don't care about these low-level so-called white people, right? The Bible said these are the bases of men, right? So these bases of men, you think they care about each other? They don't have no moral structure. They don't have no value structure, right? The Lord didn't give them the laws and statutes and the commandments, right? It says, let favor be shown unto them when they're going to continue to be who they are, the wicked. It says, the Bible says, the wicked will do wickedly, but none of the wicked shall understand. So one thing you got to understand, these devils, they're going to turn on other Edomites. It says here in the book of Jeremiah 49:7, concerning Edom, thus saith the Lord of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman? Is counsel perished from the prudent? Right? From the prudent, is their wisdom vanished? Of course their wisdom is vanished. Right? What else is vanishing with their wisdom? That goddamn money, that dollar, that currency. Right? People ain't trusting in their wealth. You got Edomites leaving colleges. Right? You got colleges being shut down.
The number of college closures across the U.S. are expected to rise. That's according to new data from the Philadelphia Fed. They're citing a slowdown in prospective students, and the findings are the subject of this week's Muni Moment. Joining us right now is Bloomberg's Nick Corello, who covers Muni Finance for us here at Bloomberg World Headquarters. And Nick, we've heard about a lot of the pain at some of these colleges. Give us a sense of the scale of these potential closures.
Sure. So this paper was really interesting to us because until this research, it was generally thought to be pretty hard to predict school closures. Their finances are very different case by case, but using machine learning and some algorithms, they predicted that kind of in a worst case scenario if we saw this demographic cliff, this idea that there's fewer students kind of applying to colleges. The researchers modeled for a fifth case, but using machine learning and some algorithms, they predicted that kind of in a worst case scenario if we saw this demographic cliff, this idea that there's fewer students kind of applying to colleges. The researchers modeled for a 15% drop in students, which could be as severe as affecting over 100,000 students and 20,000 staff.
And walk us through the economic impact of that as well, especially
students, which could be as severe as affecting over 100,000 students and 20,000 staff.
And walk us through the economic impact of that as well, especially on smaller towns where many of these schools are often located.
Sure. So a lot of times a college, they're known as what are called anchor institutions, like a hospital. Sometimes they're the biggest employer for miles in particularly rural parts of the United States. And the higher ed industry is just a massive generator of economic activity. They're called anchor institutions, like a hospital. Sometimes they're the biggest employer for miles in particularly rural parts of the United States. And the higher ed industry is just a massive generator of economic activity in the U.S. I think they employ upwards of 3 million people, and it generates, billions of dollars of economic activity. And even, this was the worst case scenario that they modeled, but even on a smaller scale, that could really funnel some pockets of distress into particular parts of the country.
It was kind of interesting when you look at where the closure rates are and some of
And even, this was the worst case scenario that they modeled, but even on a smaller scale, that could really funnel some pockets of distress into particular parts of the country.
It was kind of interesting when you look at where the closure rates are.
Activity, and even, this was the worst case scenario that they modeled, but even on a smaller scale, that could really funnel some pockets of distress into particular parts of the country.
It was kind of interesting when you look at where the closure rates.
Wow, boy, you can see the fear. You can see the fear in these devils, boy. They seen their society collapsing. They seen the system collapsing. They seen the doors shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low. Right? No more colleges. No more of these little cities going to them little bars getting drunk. Right? Talking shit. Right? What you see going on? There's a lot of broke back activity going on in Babylon the Great. The Lord then gave this place over to a vile spirit. Right? I'm reading the book of Isaiah 47, and we're going to start at verse 1. It says, "Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate." What made you tender and delicate? Jobs, colleges, the opportunity to be great. Hollywood, even Hollywood fucked up. The Lord done burn all the motherfuckers' houses down. Right, the Lord tearing this bitch up. You gotta be a Stevie Wonder motherfucker not to see what's going on. Right, you gotta be blind as shit, but guess what? The Lord talk about a bunch of blind and deaf motherfuckers. Let's get that verse. Here we go. It reads here in the book of Romans 11 and 8. Right, why we got a book of Romans? Right, because according to history, Romans were white people, because you had Israelites in Rome. They were writing to Israelites in Rome. Right, Israelites in Corinth, Israelites in these different cities, in these different countries that they were scattered into. Right, it says here in the book of Romans 11 and 8, according as it is written, the Most High have given them the spirit of slumber. Right, a lot of jakes in Rome, man, had the spirit of slumber, just like right here. Eyes that they should not see, and ears that they should not hear unto this day. Right, they're not going to see what's going on. They're not going to see the collapse. And they're not going to hear this truth. Right, in other words, Lord, and cut their asses clear the fuck off. I'll read it again. Romans 11 and 8. It says, according as it is written, the Most High have given them the spirits of slumber, eyes that they should not see, and ears that they should not hear unto this day. Right, until this day. Jake still don't know what the fuck going on. In 2025, right, you got the internet, right? Wisdom has increased, knowledge has increased. You got the internet, you got everything you can reach to for more information, but our people don't want to know. Our people don't consider, right? A sottish people, right? It says here in the book of Ecclesiasticus 33 verse 14, right? It says, good is set against evil, and life against death. So is the godly against the sinner, and the sinner against the godly, man, right? So if you're in a godly spirit, if you're trying to repent and you want to return back to your power, you got to separate yourself from these wicked men of this society. You got to come out of this world, right? If this world has none to offer Edom, what the fuck you think it got to offer you, right? You got Edomites complaining about the end of their world, and here you are trying to hold on to their world. No, we're gonna make it good again. For you to be a ninja with a mega hat, you done lost your mind. For you to be a Hispanic with a mega hat, you done lost your mind. A Native American with a mega hat, for you to be any person other than a so-called white man with a mega hat, you done lost your mind. You done lost your mind, because the white man, he's supposed to have that spirit of making the system great again, right? And what it say about the elites? It says, man, the wicked, they know their time is short. They know they got to do what the fuck they got to do. Because it's a lot of, they know they got to come against the Lord. Why you think they built the Space Force? Right? Why you think they're about to implement the mark of the beast? Right? Everything is going according to the scriptures. It says good is set against evil and life against death. So is the godly against the sinner and the sinner against the godly. I'm reading the book of, let's go to 1 Corinthians 3:19. It says, for the wisdom of this world is foolishness with the Most High. For it is written, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness. Right? The wisdom of this world is foolishness, man. Schools are closing. Right? The system is collapsing. The dollar's dying. Right? Death of the dollar. Right? Right? These Edomites should be working on their right? Honestly, they ain't got nothing to leave for their next generation. What they call that shit? When you leave something for a motherfucker. Somebody gonna put in the comment board. The will. That's what it's called. Goddamn will. Right? Esau don't. I was gonna say Esau should be working on his will, but no, he don't. He's not gonna have nothing to leave to his children. Right? Because his children, it says, what, prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers. So, right, the Edomites living right now, they about to pay for what? The iniquity of their fathers, right? And it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. Shalom.